Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, thanks for sitting down with me, Susan. I know the Bible can feel big, confusing, and honestly a bit of overwhelming. So today, I just want to walk through it with you briefly. We're going to look at three main things: how the Bible is structured, especially in the Protestant tradition, the big story of the Bible, using a simple 5-act framework, the key themes that run through it, like new creation, salvation, hope, and restoration. And don't worry, I'll pause along the way and check in with you. So, first, what actually is the Bible? At its simplest, the Bible is a collection of books, not just one book, more like a small library. In the Protestant canon, there were 66 books, 39 in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament. Now, here's something important: these books aren't arranged in order they were written, they're grouped by type. Let's break that down. Old Testament groupings: Law, Torah, and Pentateuch, Genesis to Deuteronomy. History is Joshua to Esther. Wisdom and poetry, Job to Songs of Songs. Prophets, Isaiah and to Malachi. New Testament groupings is the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. And the history is Acts. Letters, epistles, Romans to Jude. Apocryphs, Revelation. So instead of being chronically Bible, the Bible is arranged like a thematic library. And here's the key to the idea. This group actually helps us understand the message better. The law introduces God, creation, and the foundation of his relationship with humanity. The history books show how that relationship plays out in real life. The wisdom books reflect on human experience, questions, struggles, meaning. The prophets call people back to God and point forward to hope. In the New Testament, the Gospels show Jesus as the centre of everything. Acts show the message spreading. The letters explain what it means for life. Revelation points to the future, how it all ends.
Okay, so the Bible isn't just random. It's arranged like a guide, and it's also how we understand the story.
Exactly, that's the idea. Now, let's look at the whole Bible in one big story. A really helpful way to understand it is as a 5-act structure, like a play. Act 1, creation. The story starts in Genesis. God creates everything: light, land, animals, and humans, and it's all described as good. Humans are created in God's image with purpose, relationship, and responsibility. That's harmony between humans and God, between humans and each other, between humans and creation. This is how things are meant to be. This is how things are meant to be. Act 2, the fall. But things go wrong. Humans choose independence from God. They distrust him. This is what we call the fall. Broken relationship with God. Conflict between people. Pain, suffering and death. A fractured world. Sin enters the picture, not just as bad actions, but as broken condition. Why does this matter so much? Because everything else in the Bible is responding to this problem. Act 3 is Israel, promise and preparation. This is the longest part of the Old Testament. God chooses a people, Israel, not because they're special, but to work through them. He makes promises to Abraham, blessing all nations. Through Moses, a law and covenant. Through David, a future king. But Israel struggles a lot. They trust God. They don't, they follow him, then turn away. And this is where the prophets come in. They warn about consequences. They call people back. They promise a future restoration. Most importantly, they begin pointing forward to someone coming. Act 4, Jesus, climax. In the New Testament, Jesus arrives and Christians believe Jesus is God stepping into the story. He teaches, heals, challenges, and ultimately dies on a cross, rises from the dead. That's the central moment of salvation. Sin and death are dealt with, not erased instantly, but defeated at the next root.
Okay, so everything before this is leading up to Jesus.
Yes, and everything after flows from him. Church and new creation. After Jesus rises, the story continues. The book of Acts show the message spreading. The letters explain how to live in light of Jesus, and Revelation points forward to the ending. A renewed world, no more suffering, God dwelling with people again. It's like the story comes full circle, back to something like creation, but even better. Now let's pull out some key themes that run through all 5 acts. We'll focus on salvation and new creation, hope and restoration. Salvation means being rescued, but from what? In the Bible, that's being rescued from sin, separation from God, and death. The Old Testament, salvation often looks physical, rescue from enemies, slavery, exile. In the New Testament, it becomes deeper and more universal. Jesus offers salvation that restores relationship with God.
Okay, so it's salvation, but is salvation just about going to heaven?
Not exactly. It's about being restored into a relationship with God, starting now and continuing into eternity. New creation. This theme connects the very beginning of the very end. Genesis starts with creation. Revelation ends with new creation. This isn't about escaping the world, it's about renewing it. The idea is God doesn't abandon creation, he restores it. Even in the middle of the Bible, you see glimpses. Prophets talk about renewal. Jesus talks about the kingdom of God. Paul talks about people becoming new creations. Hope and restoration. That this theme is everywhere. Even when things fall apart, there's always a promise of hope. After the fall, promise of redemption. During Israel's failures, promise of return. In exile, promise of restoration. After Jesus' death, resurrection. Hope is the Bible, isn't wishful thinking. It's grounded in God's character.
Okay, so the Bible is actually where, how can you say, it's more hopeful than it was when it first seemed.
Yes, deeply hopeful, even in its darkest moments. So let's step back and summarise everything. The Bible is a collection of 66 books grouped by type. It is arranged in a way, I've done it. It's arranged in a way that helps us understand its message. Tells one unified story across 2 testaments. That story follows a 5-act structure. Creation, fall, Israel, Jesus, Church of New Creation. And across that story we see big themes. Salvation, God resuming humanity. New creation, God renewing everything. Hope and restoration, God not giving up on this world. If that's one way to think about the Bible, it's this. It's not just a collection of rules or stories, it's a story about God restoring what was broken. And it invites you to where you fit into that story.
Okay, so where do I fit in all of this?
That's actually the question the Bible leaves with us, and it's a good place to keep the conversation going, but we have a run out of time today. When we sit down again soon, I can go into that in more depth then. Thanks for coming today, Susan.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. So before I let you go, I want to get you to explain to me what your favourite part of the Bible actually is.
Jeremiah.
Why is Jeremiah your favourite part of the Bible?
Because it says that I know the plans I have for you, that plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future, and that's future is in Jesus.
Okay. And what has happened in your life that you can, take from the Bible to show me, moving forward, that that I should be following the Bible?
In John 3:16 it says, come to me who are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. I think that's in Psalms. But in John 3:16 it says, ask me into your heart, and you will be with him for eternity.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that and spending the time with me. And I'm looking forward to sitting down with you later and going into the Bible a little bit more later on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.